Bud Summers, Guitar Lessons with Bud. Today we're going to talk about using double note or two note leads. These are also called double stops. It's where you're using one of your fingers to play two notes, or you might be using a combination of fingers like this, two fingers. But the point is we're playing two notes at a time, hence double stop. That's one of, this is especially a very effective technique for getting big, strong, fat, memorable guitar leads. It, you know, sometimes our single notes can be a little bit thin on their own. That I don't think that particularly was, but you know, certain notes just don't have a lot of strength on their own. So this is a way to just fatten it up and make it a little bit stronger. Now this is the kind of thing, you know, Chuck Berry did a lot of this stuff. Still does. Chuck Berry, St. Louis, hometown hero, and the duck walk and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, famous for Johnny B. Good. But this is not a new technique by any means. Symphony orchestras have been doing this kind of thing. Violinists, violas, even double basses been doing this kind of thing where they're playing two notes at a time. It's just a good technique that we can add easily to our repertoire. Okay, getting the sound right is an important thing. We need to make sure, and normally when we're playing just a regular chord or something, or even playing single notes, a lot of time I've stressed the fact that we want to use the tips of your fingers and come down nice and clean. That's going to allow you to be a little bit quicker. That's one thing you're probably going to slow just a little bit when you're doing the double stops. It's just a little bit more difficult to move quickly, because what we're going to try and do is we're going to lay a little bit flatter, because we now have to cover two notes with the same finger. And in most of these cases, as I said, there's a couple things where we use a different finger, but the most basic ones that we're going to do, we're just going to take a finger, and what you can see here I'm doing, I'm taking my first finger, I'm just laying a little bit flat on the first and second strings right there, and I'm at the 5th fret. I know you can't see, there's the nut. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm at the 5th fret. Again, I'm staying close to the fret, so it's a little bit easier to, and a little bit better intonation, a little bit easier to make the finger if you stay closer to the fret. If you slide back here, farther back, there's a tendency you're going to lose a little bit of the leverage that you've got by being close to the fret. On the other hand, if you go the other direction, if you get on that fret, you're going to get some deadening. So you don't want to do that, okay? But in this case, we're just going to go ahead and use our first finger across, you know, the first and second strings at the 5th fret. Just get that to sound nice and clear. Then next I would like to go ahead and take my 3rd finger. Now I'm at the 7th fret, and I'm also on the 2nd and 3rd strings. Okay, on the 2nd and 3rd strings. Again, laying pretty flat though. Taking that finger and just laying it down. Now, when we were doing the C9th chord and some of our jazz type of chords, we were using this type of technique too, where we're, you know, laying that down and getting it in a more flat thing. So the most best known, I think we'll call it, would be to take the 1st and 2nd strings, and then the 3rd finger on the 2nd and 3rd strings at the 7th fret, and then the 1st finger, 2nd, 3rd strings again. You're at the 5th fret now, and then a single note here on the 4th string. Talked about too much about the right hand here, but of course what you're doing here is you want to get those two strings to sound together. So you can practice just taking your pick. two things I do want to show you quickly before we go on this. I don't want this to run too long, but before we go on this, I'm just pretty much taking kind of looking at my notes here that would come out of the pentatonic scale. In the 5th position, and we've done that before. You can just do that, or you can add some of the chromatics. I did this. Also, I got out of it and I went into that little extra bluesy, jazzy thing where I took that at the 8th fret then. This is in the key of A. Another quick thing though is this. You take that, this is really cool, but then you can, instead of having at the same fret, we can do this. We can have 3rd fingers on the 2nd string at the 7th fret, and my 4th finger then is on the 1st string at the 8th fret. That's where I like to use that. Sometimes if I'm doing a double stop, I can come back to that split there, where I've got this. Alright, hope you enjoyed this. Double stops, 2-note leads on the guitar. See you again next time.